Good morning.
Morning, Coach. Thank you for joining us. We will get right to it here with Andrew Jones.
Hey, Coach. So after looking at the film and talking with Drake and Jacoby, what are some of the things that you liked about what they did on Saturday?
Probably the toughest part of playing this position is the mental part of it. We recruit these guys, Andrew, because we know they have the athletic ability to do all the things that we need them to do. So I think the biggest challenge is for them to learn the system, and then, it's one thing to be able to explain it and draw it on the board and talk about it on film. It's a whole nother thing to be able to go make it translate on the field and execute and watch the game plan come to life. So both of those guys did that this weekend, so I was very, very pleased. I probably have about 2 plays I'd want back with either of them or both of them, and they'd probably tell you the same thing. Outside of that, we made some great decisions. They did a good job getting into rhythm with the offense, both in the first half with Jacoby Criswell and in the second half with Drake May, and I was very, very pleased at the end of the day with their production and their decision-making.
With both of them really getting their first significant extended time on the field, what is the part of this process that you as a coach and as a teacher enjoy the most when a guy is just getting his first real game reps?
Well, at quarterback, and all the coaches spend so much time with their players, but we spend a lot of time. We max out the hours that we get to spend with players. And a lot of our meetings are together, but many of them also are one-on-one. So when you sit in a film room for hours on end and you go over film and you watch games and you call the games and you evaluate opponents and teach the offense and learn the offense, you develop a rapport with these guys and a relationship, and at least for me, it becomes very personal. I get to know these kids, these guys, and you start to care about them, and you want to see them be successful. And so you coach hard because it's your job, but you coach hard because you care about the kids and you want them to do well. And at this position, you got to be able to make some great decisions. And so if a player at quarterback does not play well, I take it personally, and I blame myself. I think it's on me. I've got to prepare them during the week. So to watch them go out and execute in their first real time, was a pleasure to watch for me, and I think it was a great first step for them in their development, as quarterbacks in our program and in the future.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gregory Hall, go ahead.
Phil, what was the plan going in with Drake and Jacoby as far as Jacoby doing the first half and Drake the second half? What'd you want to accomplish with them? What'd you want them to show you? And did they show you everything that you wanted to see?
I think the 2 things that we thought were important. One was I didn't want to roll through them every drive. I wanted to give them an opportunity to get into a rhythm. I think it's important. A quarterback maybe makes a mistake or doesn't quite nail something the first time, or gets a feel for what a pressure looks like. All the different things that go on in a game. And then you take him out for a drive, and he's going to sit there and he's going to wait. So one of the goals was to leave them both in for a number of drives and let them get into a rhythm and let them run the offense without having to look over their back to see if the other guy's coming in. And so it really worked out perfectly because Jacoby got 4 drives in the first half. He had 1 non-scoring drive. He had 1 field goal drive, and he had 2 touchdown drives. And then Drake came out and he got 4. And he had a non-scoring drive. He had a field goal drive, and he had 2 touchdown drives. And so they both really got an opportunity to run the entire offense. And we scaled it down, obviously, so that they could get started the right way. But they ran the whole thing. I mean, we threw our deeps, we threw our shots. We ran the football inside, outside. We ran the draw. We ran the screen game. So they got an opportunity to do it all, and it was a good first day for both of them.
What did you see out of Sam first game, not starting his career? Just how did he handle it? And then what was his leadership role on the sideline?
Well, I know that he would much rather be out on the field. There's no question. He said, among other things, it was interesting being on the sideline. What he did a great job of was he stayed in the game. He probably got to the quarterbacks right after I did when they came to the sideline, so he coached them up. He was sitting on the side, or on the bench with the two of them during their time out on the field, and just sharing his experience and what he would do during some of those things. And, I always say the starting quarterback has the best seat in the house. I mean, he's got a better view than I do. And so for him to understand the offense the way I do, and to be out there with his talent, I don't have that talent. And I also don't sit in that seat. So it's great when somebody like Sam Howell with 3 years of experience can sit on a bench next to Jacoby Criswell or Drake May and share, all of his veteran experience in the offense, running the same stuff that they're now learning how to do. So I thought he was, he was an asset on the sideline. He was a leader, as he always is, and I know he'll be thrilled to be getting back out on the field against NC State.
Michael Coe.
Hey, Coach. So with linebackers as quick and talented as NC State has, what kind of challenge does that present to you as an offense, especially one that relies a lot on the quarterback draw?
It's a huge challenge because not only they're good at linebacker, but they're exceptional up front, and they have a lot of guys that are back. These guys play right now in rhythm. They play instinctively. They're playing fast, and they are very, very physical. And they look like they're having fun playing football, and you can tell, you can just see it. One of the coaches said that to me the other day. You can tell that they're in a rhythm and they're playing good ball and they have a lot of confidence. So what do we got to do? We got to match the physicality. I think we have to scheme it up so that we can create some advantages for our guys, and we got to attack them the same way they're going to attack us. I think it's going to be a physical ball game on Friday night.
And Coach Brown alluded to this a little bit, but in a rivalry game as intense as this, do you have to sort of bring down the guys so they don't start, pressing and maybe make some silly plays out there?
We've been in enough big games. Coach Brown says, you don't have to win the game on Tuesday, right? He said, emotionally. We went out, we had great energy today. We got done what we needed to do in practice. We played with a lot of enthusiasm and took a look at some things and just, it was a work day, and we're getting prepared for Friday night. So I'm sure that'll amp up a little bit tomorrow, and then you'll gear it up a little bit more on Thursday, and then before you know it, we're going to be out on the field. And you just want it to build until we take the field, at kickoff on Friday, and I think that's where we're headed right now.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Adam Smith.
Hey, Phil. Just going back to Sam being on the sideline Saturday with you guys. I know he's about as laid back as they come, but did he happen to make any comment to you, or were you guys talking like, hey, this is kind of weird, not having you in uniform? And, obviously it's the first game he hadn't played in since he'd gotten there. Was there any sort of conversation like that? Like, this is a little bit of a strange thing having you over here?
Well, I asked him, Adam. I said, how's it feel standing on the sideline? And that was about halfway through the first quarter. And he said what you said. He said, it's just weird. I'm not used to. He started every game here for 3 years. You know what I mean? He's never even been on the sideline in street clothes, and he's never been on the sideline with no helmet around. He was there kind of like a bystander, and he didn't like it. It was uncomfortable, and I think he was frustrated that he couldn't be out there running the offense. But he did put that aside and do all the things that I talked about with regards to helping the quarterbacks, and he took the right approach. He's extremely competitive. And I'm sure he looked out there on the field and said, I would have checked this, or I would have done that, or, and so I know he's hungry to get back out on the field this week. So hopefully it just serves to feed his desire to get back out there and compete like he always does.
Thank you, Phil.
Luciano, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I hope we're doing well, and thanks for your time. I wanted to ask you about British Brooks. What are your thoughts not only on his performance against Wofford, but also on his progress throughout the season and his development as a player?
So yesterday in our team meeting, British sits right behind me in the team meeting room, and I fist bump him every day and say good morning, and we chat a little bit. But I actually leaned over and I told him yesterday. I just said, most of the time, the seniors that are graduating, I wait to talk to them until after the season. You wait until it's done and it's kind of a finality. And I try to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with all of our seniors. But I was so excited at the game on Saturday to see him produce and to see him have some explosive plays and to see him score twice. He looked like a convincing downhill physical runner. And British works really hard, and he has earned every single rep, every single day that he's been here, including the scholarship that he's on now. And so he's a phenomenal story, and I'm sure Coach Brown said the same thing. So he's just a feel-good story. I mean, the players love him to death. The staff loves him to death. To see him succeed the way he did and have a good time in his last game as a senior at Kenan Stadium was fun. And I was as much a fan as I was a coach. And I just told him that. I said, I really should wait until after the season to tell you that. But I was so excited to see him in the team meeting, and we watched the highlights that Coach Brown showed, and a lot of them were him, and it just fired me up. And I just told him I'm proud of him. I'm proud of everything he's accomplished. I'm glad he's here and that he's part of this wild ride that we've been on. And I hope he plays as well in the last two games.
CL Brown, go ahead.
Hey, Phil, you've talked a lot about rhythm and getting your quarterbacks in rhythms. What concerns do you have, if any, with Sam being out a week? Like, will there be any kind of introductory, kind of small steps he has to take this week before you feel like he's back, or does he just hit it full stride?
No, I think this weekend was more precautionary. And, truthfully, it gave us an opportunity to get some work in with the two guys that played, with Drake and Jacoby. Sam practiced today, and, it was just like every other Tuesday practice. So we're back to work. He's back to work. He's good. I think it was an interesting experience, as we've talked about, not being able to go out there, but he took it in stride and did things the right way. And I know he was jacked up about being out at practice again today, flipping balls around and doing the things that he's been doing for the last 3 years. So we're just happy to have him back, and we're focused on Friday night.
Thanks.
All right, we'll close up with Coach Longo, once again with Gregory Hall.
I wanted to ask you about J.J. Jones. I know he only played about 21 snaps, as both quarterbacks wanted to get some work with the ones at receiver, but just we've seen him come in the game a few times these last few weeks. I know he had the drop in the end zone, but just what have you seen out of him and his development as a true freshman?
We're all excited about JJ. I actually just texted him a play from practice that he didn't execute the right way, you know what I mean? And he immediately texted me back the answer. And that's all part of the process of getting better. But JJ, like a lot of our guys, particularly the young guys, has improved with each week. And he does have a unique ability. He seems very comfortable when he's out there. I don't know that he's ever looked like, a true freshman, a deer in headlights, a guy that's a little green, that has some development. He's strong, he's big, he runs well, he's aggressive to the ball. He did drop one Saturday. He also had a great deep ball catch on a bad ball that Drake laid inside, and he went over it and got it and made a great catch. And then he caught a really low laser shot on the sideline, really inches off the ground. That was a fantastic catch. And so it shows you what he's capable of doing. And I think as the weeks have gone on, he's done a better job of putting more and more plays together. He's playing consistently. And so I think it's just a matter of time now before JJ is a mainstay in the offense, and I'm excited for him as well.
All right, Coach, thanks for a couple of minutes. We appreciate it.
All right, y'all have a good week. We'll see you.